Life, it comes at us like a train with all its ups and downs, its pains and its joys. How do we deal with it? How do we process it? How how do what we learn from life, and especially what we teach life back in return, makes all of the difference. Welcome to Life Talks. Welcome to another episode of Life Talks. In this COVID-19 crisis, we have been bringing to you experts in different areas of the field of individuals who are in the front line or are mental health providers to help bring us behind the scenes and to bring some more insight of what is really happening in the lives of people as they are trying to cope. And today is no different. I am extra humble, and so if you see me get a little starstruck, it's because my guest today is one of the icons to me as a woman. She's phenomenal, and she's also a trailblazer in my faith, but also in her field. So let me introduce you to my guest, Chaplain Adrienne Townsend Benton is who we have with us today. Although she grew up as a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, it was in 1999 that she wholeheartedly gave her life to Jesus and accepted him as her Lord and Savior. Now she reveals in the daily opportunities given to her to stay intimately connected with the lover of her soul, who is unlike none other. Lord, there is none like you is the song her heart sings. Chaplain Adrienne Townsend Benton formerly served as an Associate Dean of Women for Lamson Hall, located on the campus of Andrews University. Simultaneously, she served as an Associate Minister on the pastoral staff of Andrews University New Life Seventh-day Adventist Fellowship from 2002 to 2008. Her responsibilities included providing pastoral care, planning, and implementing opportunities for students to come in contact with Jesus Christ. Chaplain Benton holds an associate in early childhood, a bachelor's in elementary education and psychology, and a master's in curriculum and instruction, and a Master of Divinity degree from the Seventh-day Adventist Theological Seminary at Andrews University. In addition to this, Chaplain Townsend Benton was commissioned into the U.S. Navy Chaplain Candidate Program in June 2005. Lieutenant Townsend Benton superseded into active duty in June 2008 as the first U.S. Navy Seventh-day Adventist female chaplain. In her varied assignments, she ministers to both Marines and sailors and has used the gifts God has seen fit to entrust her with to meet the specific needs of this community. Chaplain Townsend Benton is in awe of a God who has called her to non-traditional ministry to show how Christ is real and relevant to the needs of people in everyday living. She was asked why she chose this particular ministry path. Her response was simple: the opportunity to bring hope and the light of Christ to precious souls in the dark corners of life is a mission that I'm privileged to embrace daily. As you could see or hear, this is why I'm so excited to have, I call her one of my mentors and my sister, but Lieutenant Chaplain Adrienne Townsend Benton. Thank you for coming and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. So glad to be here today.
I appreciate your heart and your willingness to be of help, especially in this crisis that we're in. And when I reached out to you, you were like, yeah, how can I help? I think it tells of your heart and probably why you've been so blessed in succeeding to transcend barriers. And I'm just really happy and I'm proud. I'm proud to know you.
Thank you.
Very proud to know you. So you are currently in a branch of the military called the Navy.
Yes,
Is
that
that
is
correct?
correct.
Okay. Why did you choose the Navy?
So interesting. So, in order to be a chaplain in the military, you have to have your Master's of Divinity degree, and the recruiters come to the seminaries. I was attending the seminary at Andrews University, and they had a career day, and the recruiters came. And at that point, I wasn't sure what I was going to do ministry wise. And so I said, you know what, let me talk to the different recruiters and just kind of see. And as I talked to them, the Navy recruiter gave me a snapshot of non-traditional ministry that was unlike what I had ever considered. And so that began the journey. And once I started engaging with the Navy as far as doing pastoral ministry, I was hooked. And it's been 12 years since then.
Oh wow. Okay. So I thought it was less than that. So kudos. Well, we just met a few years ago. And of course,
Yes.
I'm thinking that because the faith that we belong to celebrates you, and so when I came into this area of ministry and finding out about you, you were breaking barriers, and
Praise
so
God. Yes.
and so a lot of us are following in your tracks because I am at the seminary now also, and we look up to good role models like you. So was the process
Thank you,
difficult?
sister.
Was the process difficult? Like, did you have to be like in the shape of a wrestler to pass your physical and everything?
So definitely when you come in as an officer, you still go to what they call boot camp. It's called officer development school. And
Okay.
so definitely it is it's a tool that is used to get you to where you need to be in shape. So
Okay. So
yes, it was challenging when I first came in.
because some of us will be like, that physical is not going to be okay. Um, so that's good to know. That's good to know. So COVID-19 is,
Yeah.
if we could even wish to say, it's not on a military base, but that's not the case.
Oh, no.
Right. And so your location is, you are on a base.
Yes,
You're
on a
serving
Navy
on a
base.
base. You are on a
Mhm.
Navy base. And so I am sure that you are seeing, aside from seeing the news, has it hit home down there yet?
It has hit home. So
Okay.
I am on a base which is attached to another base not too far away. And
Okay.
our base in particular doesn't have positive cases, but the ones nearby do.
And so
Yes.
are you then pulled over to help out with them?
No,
Okay.
because those where the cases are, they have specific chaplains. However, as a community, we support each other because the shape of ministry, the vision of ministry, the practicality of it is changing literally right
Right.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are a Navy chaplain.
Yes.
So, but you're on a base. So tell us what is the difference between a Navy chaplain and a hospital chaplain, or do you serve interchangeably?
So a Navy chaplain, you will be assigned to, well, one, you are distinct in terms of you have Air Force chaplain, Navy chaplains. Navy chaplains serve Marines, Coast Guard, and sailors. So we serve three branches. Air Force and Army have their own chaplain. So one, you'll come in specific to your branch. And then once you come in specific to the branch, then you serve the entire population. So as a Navy chaplain, I might serve at a hospital, a naval health clinic, or I may serve with Marines and go out in the field, or I may serve with the Coast Guard and be with them on the cutters. And it's real varied as far as where you might be stationed.
And how was that transition for you? Because you had never done that before. You were
No,
just
no.
recruited.
Initially, it took a little bit to just adjust to the military culture, but I love it. I love
Okay.
it because I'm one of those sailors that has had an opportunity to travel and see the world. And that has been exciting, being able to do ministry all over the globe for the Lord.
Wow. Yeah, we're proud of you. I'll probably say it a million times during this conversation. So I was reading up, of course, you know, because this field you're in is not too common to all of us. So I had to do some research and read up on um, on how to dialogue within the language, you know, that you speak. And so that's why I asked that question, because some articles were being pulled up about hospital chaplains or military chaplains in the hospital and what they're facing and the challenges that they're facing. So especially with COVID-19 and your main job is spiritual care.
Mhm.
So, how is this affecting your ability to effectively do your job, especially within the parameters that COVID-19 is placing around all of us? It's putting up borders of physical distancing. So, how challenging has that been for you?
So it's an interesting dynamic. Where I'm at right now, my context, I am on a base, I'm attached to a chapel. So I'm almost like the senior pastor of a church with multiple congregations.
Hmm.
The face of ministry here has changed because everything is now virtual.
Right.
Our facilities are closed. We're not having any no Bible studies, no services. All of our activities planned for the next months or so have been canceled. But everything now is converted to virtual. So we're still doing the Bible studies, still doing the worship services, still giving out marriage tips, still doing children's activities virtually.
Wow.
We reach out to our command via email. We pick up the phone. We do phone calls. We do follow our national/state orders, right, as far as the 6 feet and the physical distancing. And you just continue to work within those parameters. For some of our duty spaces, if you go by, you're gonna go by and you'll wave, shout, "Hey, how's everybody doing over there?" You find new people still stay connected, because that is part of the concern right now with the physical distancing, right? We don't say social anymore because
Hmm.
everybody's still being social just in different ways. But in the
Right.
physical distancing, concern is that we don't lose people, that people don't get disconnected because they're not able to do the face to face. So that's a part of where the fight is right now, just keeping people connected.
Hmm. Okay. So for me, as a pastor, also moving into transitioning into the virtual space, it seems like it's more work
Yes, it does
because
feel that way.
like, you know, since it's one thing, I think the bulk of the work begins when you're transitioning, you know, because you have to process everything over, and then you think it flatlines and then you're running smoothly, but
Yeah.
it's like every minute you have to be
Hey,
thinking of other ways and oh, good mess.
yes.
So, do you have associate chaplains? Is that what they would be considered as, or on your
Yeah, so
team?
where I'm at right now, I'm the what they call installation chaplain, the command chaplain, the senior chaplain, and I
Okay.
have a deputy. So I have one other chaplain that's with me. On the base, there's about 5 other chaplains that
Okay.
help to do pastoral care for different commands.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, you took a call before you came on, and
Yeah.
someone unfortunately passed. So, within the quote unquote real world, people's
Mhm.
family members are passing alone, and
Yes.
they can't funeralize their loved ones, and all this kind of um, hard grief moments
Yes.
through those transitions. So, how do you handle a call like that if you guys are still within the same parameters that we have as far as physical distancing?
Right. So you still do what you can. One, you reduce your personnel. So you reduce the amount of personnel that would normally respond to such a situation like that. So instead of 2 or 3 or 4, there's one that will be the primary, one or two that will, because you never leave anybody by themselves, but 1 or 2 that will be the primary respondents. Then we're still looking, as far as funeral service, memorial, we're going virtual. We're going virtual.
Okay.
So you use the 1 or 2, the 3 or the 4 that would have different parts within that, and then you allow the families and the loved ones in the command to be able to live stream, to be able to join
Okay.
you that way. You use the virtual to be able to try to have conversations for grief counseling,
Mm.
or giving people a sense of community to be able to share.
Good, good. That's comforting. That's comforting. I read in the I read in the I read in an article that the Navy Chief of Chaplains, um, he said that the peace and hope that you bring to this unique fight will help carry the day. Do you feel that sense of I wouldn't say burden, but are you feeling a sense from the people that you're ministering to that it is helping, that your ministry of presence is helping their day?
Most definitely. As a Navy chaplain, we do multiple things. So we help to provide religious ministry and support to those of their own faith. We facilitate for all religious beliefs. We have vice commanders. And so within all of that, many times people see the chaplains as that one stable, peaceful, calm force. And so, in the midst of chaos, when you have a situation taking place, sometimes just your presence, just walking into the room, people tend to feel a sense of, ah, okay,
Right.
everything's going to be all right. The
Right.
God squad here. Sometimes we're known as that, as the God squad. Sometimes, it'll just bring that sense of, okay, everything's going to be all right. We're going to work through this together.
So then that leads to the next question. Now, if you're the God squad and the piece that walks into a room, how do you handle the shared grief yourself?
Good question. So we are encouraged to be able to have our own networks for self-care. Self-care is something that from the Chief of Chaplain's office all the way down is something that's pushed quite frequently. So that way we don't get what they call compassion fatigue, so that we don't get overwhelmed or burdened down ourselves. So like for me personally, I have a few friends who are psychologists, psychiatrists, safe networks that when I feel myself getting overwhelmed with everybody else's life crisis, I'm able to reach out to and decompress.
Okay, so now, lady question: what other ways do you do self-care? Are you restricted at all, or you do the same things that all of us do?
Oh, I do the same things. I think I do the same things everybody does. So for me personally, my self-care things, I love to go to the spa. So at least once a month prior to us being in this COVID-19 season, I'll go to the spa, I'll get my nails done. I like to go get outside in nature. And so many times I'll go to the beach or go to the park, go for a hike, go for a walk just to have some quiet time to kind of free my mind. I love to read and I love music. So I think pretty much the basic ways everybody does.
We're just debunking myths because you think about the military, and then some people automatically think your life is over as
No,
a
not at
normal
all.
person. Okay, that's good to know. For those of you who may be thinking about military, you could still get your nails did. Now have heard
Most
about that.
within regulations, but you can still get them done.
Okay, so what's the regulation? Give us an example if you can.
Sure. So, I mean, in terms of, when you're in this environment at all times, you are to maintain a professional state of being. So, like if I was going to get my nails done, I won't go out there and get purple or orange. I'm going to get something like a French manicure, a color, if I put a color on it that is close to skin tone, something that's not distracting in nature.
Okay, and you can't. So of course, we just have a little humor right now, but you can't have those nails that are.
Most definitely not. That is not functional.
Darn. Okay, so that's good to know. So so share with us the importance of religious ministries during crises, as well as how to align your activities with your local health protection condition level.
Awesome question. So, as chaplains, we are here to support those who have faith and who do not practice faith. What we find is that whether somebody practices or does not practice, everybody really does fit into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Everybody has that need for a sense of belonging, a sense of security. So, as Navy chaplains, we have the opportunity to provide for all, provide for those who are practicing faith, provide for those who are not practicing. We all fit into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all have a desire for a sense of belonging, a desire for a sense of stability and a sense of security. you find many times that it is in crisis situations that people will turn towards faith because most people are seeking to be able to lean on, depend on, cling on to something that they deem to be bigger than themselves. And so it's in situations like this that people are looking for that blessed assurance, and they're open to be able to understand how God fits in the moments of crisis. Where is God's love? This is a wonderful time to be able to share with individuals where God's love is and how to continue to grow in relationship with God.
Yeah. Okay, that's beautiful. So this tells me that there's no discrimination with care, and that everyone, no matter what they believe, will have an opportunity by you and your team to be loved and cared for. And that's really
Yeah.
good because, this is the worst time to be separating people and marginalizing
Mhm.
them because of what they believe. And I
Yes.
think it goes down to the fundamental needs, as you said earlier, that we all need somebody to lean on. And
Yes.
it doesn't have to have the language of our religion per se,
Mhm.
but love doesn't say anything other than I care for you, and I want to be there for you.
Yes. Yes.
So
And
good.
yes. And love is a beautiful language.
Right. We need it right
Yes.
now more than
Yes.
anything. Um,
Yes.
so here's another question. So you're in your uniform right now, but
Yes.
you're in your office and you're in a safe place. But how are you protecting yourself? Are
Yes.
you wearing PPEs, or is there like a military PPE, or share with us from from where you are on the base. What protection measures do you have to care for yourself and your family?
Yes, most definitely. So you will find that for all individuals who are still going out and working, all essential workers, we all have the same concerns about going out and then coming home and interacting with our family members. The military is following the same exact guidelines that the definitely the 6 feet distance, definitely wearing your mask. So we have all of the same um, requirements right now that we're trying to use so that we can reduce the threat from COVID-19.
Okay, so you were saying you have your mask
Yes.
and everything else. Okay, all right. If there's a military family watching this show right now, and they have anxieties over COVID, maybe they have a family member who's deployed, or they're experiencing the grief maybe through a loved one or somebody sick, as a chaplain, what would you say to them right now?
Most definitely. I would say to the individual, number one, do your best to, in your mind, keep the perspective of, I'm going to win the day. When you open up your eyes in the morning, there are certain facts of what the reality of life is right now. Fact: the United States of America, the world is dealing with COVID-19. As a military family, there are some facts in terms of we don't always get to choose exactly when and where we're going to do or where we're going to be. But we do have a lot of resources. We do have family in terms of being a military community. So, for the spouse that is out there that is concerned, I would definitely encourage you to stay aware of the communication that the command is putting out. I would definitely encourage you to get in touch with your ombudsman or Fleet and Family Services, your family readiness organizations that are there to assist families. I would definitely encourage any service member. You have a lot of resources as well. You have chaplains, we have mental health, medical providers, a lot of people, resources that are there available to walk forward with you on this journey. Stay aware in terms of knowing the knowledge that's being put out by our government agencies, as well as the always consistent communication that's coming out from your military organization.
Awesome. So I'm hearing the list that you just repeated, and the good thing is that, or the good news that I'm hearing is that they have access.
Yes,
They have
yes, we do
access.
have access to a lot of resources.
Okay, good. We can feel so isolated with this physical distancing, and
Yeah,
to know that there is access for help relieves a burden of the fear of what next or what now or how can I provide for my family. So it's good to know that they have access. And I guess we would expect that because they're military, but sometimes you just don't want to take things for granted. You want to be able to
yeah,
hear it and reinforce that
yeah,
that is the case.
yeah.
Is there anything else you feel that we need to know as a greater community, or that you would appeal to us to do to help in any way? I know prayer is definitely on top of the list because we're praying for all of us. But is there anything else that we can do to help serve our military families and support them?
Most definitely. So I would say after you have prayed, definitely start with any military that you might know, regardless of whether you're close to them or not. If you have any way in which to communicate with them, send them a text, send them an email, do a video voice chat, and just say, hey, thank you for your service, or how are you doing today? How can I pray with you today? Is there any way in which I can brighten your day? You will find that that goes a long way, because your military members right now, many of whom are a part of the essential workers who are still continuing to work every day and right along with you and this world at large, are concerned about the very real concerns about COVID-19. If you have any military around you that don't have family or a sense of community and you're aware of it, then in the ways that we are able to right now, again, seek to be community for those individuals. Extremely important. There are single parents that are dealing with the spouses being away, or they're single parents and they have nobody here while they're still trying to work and take care of their children. You have single service members, you have married. So, I mean, all different types of scenarios. So, definitely, I would say in any way, shape, or form, just reach out. Prayer goes a long way, but also reach out in a tangible way just to let them know that you're thinking about them and you appreciate their support.
Okay, great. Are we allowed to call our the base, if there's a base close to us? Are we allowed to call to ask how we as civilians can help? Is that allowed?
You sure can.
Okay.
All bases, all commands will have a chaplain that's attached to them. So
Okay.
I would try to go through that route first and just let
Okay.
them know that you're a local organization that's interested in supporting, and see how they're able to guide and direct you.
Okay, that's good because I'm sure somebody is saying, well, okay, fine, but if I don't know someone who is in the military, then and I want to help or I have a skill, there's so many people like making masks and all that kind of stuff, and or they may just want to be a sense of a presence, to
Yeah,
them. They would be asking, how can we do that? So thank you,
most
and
definitely.
so we could just look it up and look up the. Is there like a chaplain section on the website, or do we call
Uh,
and ask?
most 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 bases on their website will have a chaplain that is listed there as a part of their personnel.
Okay.
You also can look in your community for many of your veteran organizations. They also will be very key in helping you to get in contact with any military that may be in your community that might not need assistance.
Okay, wonderful. That's good. Good to know. Good to know.
Yes.
And I guess the veterans too.
Yes, most definitely. That's a huge population right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, most
I'm just
definitely.
thinking of some of them that may be either disabled, and may not have family close by that would probably need. I know we still with the physical distancing, but the call
Yes.
would help.
Yeah,
Good.
most definitely. And you have a lot of organizations that are still finding ways to be able to um, do like food pantries where people can come instead of going in the building, they just come and pick it up. So
Mhm.
some of those organizations might be able to use some help, whether it's donations or somehow, with time.
Okay, good, good. So a tough question for you. In this moment, what would you say is probably the toughest thing for you to do? The most challenging thing for you to do that you're saying COVID-19, why?
Staying connected.
Yeah.
Staying
Okay.
connected, I think, would be the biggest. That's where we spend a lot of our time, as far as one, doing what we know that we have in our hands right now to use to stay connected. But in your mind, you wonder, is that enough?
Right.
And so
Right.
that's the biggest piece right now, and
Yeah.
especially with the fact that we don't know how long this is going to last. You find yourself between that tension of not just doing for today, but doing things that have longevity, while you still don't totally know how
Right.
long is how long. So
Right.
that would be the challenge right now.
Because I could imagine just the hugs and the touch, and these are people that you consider extended family, I'm sure,
Yeah.
and just so used to being with them, and knowing that some of them may have the need, or love language,
Yes.
you're used to giving them hugs, and so I was thinking about that, and for all of us, it's quite challenging. So
Yeah.
we pray for this to be over sooner than later. Since you are a spiritual care provider, what we're going to ask is if you would be willing to pray, to say a prayer for all of us, right here, right now on this platform, and invite the God of peace and hope and love into our hearts.
I would love to.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Friends, let's pray together. God, we want to thank you so much that you are God. We thank you, Lord, that you have all knowledge. The things that are a surprise to us are never a surprise to you. As we find ourselves corporately in this COVID-19 season, where we are on high alert for the virus, we ask right now that you will say, peace be still to the winds and the waves. Lord, the men and women who are watching this video right now, Father, they're going through real life circumstances and tensions. But we're grateful to know that all manner of things, everything belongs to you. And so we ask right now that you will break the chains. We ask right now that you will bring healing to the minds, the body, and the spirits. We ask right now, Lord, that you will open the windows of heaven and that you will deposit your financial blessings and resources, Lord, that only you could deliver. We ask that you will stabilize the minds. We ask, Lord God, that you will remove and rebuke the overwhelming feelings of suicide and depression, that you will rebuke abusive situations, Lord, and manipulations. We ask, Lord God, that you will draw us all closer to you. Show us your face. Show us peace. And then finally, Lord, we know that you don't bless us just to bless, just to keep the blessings to ourselves, but you bless us to be a blessing to others. And so I pray that you will activate us all, open our hearts and minds and spirit, and show us how, even in the midst of physical distancing, Lord, how we can still build community and be a light to the world. We love you. We thank you. We trust you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. So I go back to the statement that the Navy Chief of Chaplains said, that the peace and hope that you bring, Chaplain Townsend Benton, is unique to this fight and will help carry the day. And I am sure that right now with this program, you're helping to carry the day of all of us, and especially if there are any military families that are watching. So I thank you for being part of the God Squad. I love that term. you
We are
know,
honored.
and for being such a beacon of light and hope. And you said it right. Sometimes there's certain people that will walk into a room, just like like a parent or a mom. A child is afraid, or they fell and got bruised, and it doesn't end. It doesn't cause the bruise to disappear. But somehow, if mama or dad or grandpa walks in, somehow all of a sudden the pain is
Yes.
gone. And I
Yes.
feel that you and all chaplains around the globe right now are doing that for us. I mean, I feel peaceful just sitting here talking
Wow.
with you, and you're not even here. But
Amen.
that is what you bring. And so thank you so much. We'll be praying for you. Stay
Thank you.
safe. We'll be
Thank you.
praying for everyone that you are going to be in contact with and you're trying to connect with. And preferably you may come back again.
I would
We'd
love
love follow up, and if there's anything more that you feel that this program can help to, any information to disseminate to the public, to the civilians, definitely we're here. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's an honor to be here.
And thank you for being a sister and mentor in ministry.
We are in this together.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Life Talks. I hope that you were inspired and that you have felt a rejuvenation in your life. And I hope that what you are saying right now is that the answer that you are given to what life has thrown at you is that I am still here. Email us with your Life Talk ideas at mylifetalkstv@gmail.com. See you next time.